sometimes we have slips, everybody, you know, and that's not a part to be like, fucking, you know, I'm giving everything up. Because some of us think that, you know what, we lose our dates, we lose the time that we have, that, you know what, we're still here and we show up.
Yeah, for sure.
We show up and, you know, we're recovery architects and architects of your life.
What is up, you guys? Welcome back to the #1 mental health and addiction podcast, the Hopeaholics. I am your girl, Natalie Eva Marie, and these are my boys.
I'm Chad.
Hi, I'm Shane.
Make sure you guys like, subscribe, and follow us on our socials and wherever you get your podcasts.
Got a new episode dropping every Monday and Thursday. Please come check it out.
This episode is brought to you by the Infinity Group. You guys, if you or a loved one is suffering, please call us today. The number is right here on the screen. We are here for you 24/7. Now, let's get into the episode.
Kristina,
Yeah.
welcome to the Hopeaholics
Yes.
Podcast.
There we go.
This has been a long time coming.
Yeah.
Really
We love
has.
our girl.
Yeah.
I appreciate this. This is bomb. It's been, I mean, the vibe in here is just vibing. I love all three of y'all. Y'all got it going on. Just happy to be here. You know, I love what y'all doing with throughout the nation, you know, and the people channeling in, talking. Y'all are everywhere. That's awesome.
We're trying to be.
Yeah.
Trying to be everywhere.
Oh yeah, California.
We
throughout the
just
nation.
got back from Phoenix.
Did you?
Yeah.
What was happening out in Phoenix?
We spoke on Monday night,
Really?
and then we did a podcast,
Oh, yeah.
individual
For Wade.
podcast for
Yeah.
Wade
Oh, that was
at
right. That's
Unplugged.
right. Yeah.
Oh, that's
Plugged in recovery.
Plugged in.
I said
unplugged. Yeah, there is something out. I think it's
There
is
is.
some-
What is unplugged?
There
They
is
got
an
like
Unplugged.
Unplugged.
Yeah, that's like music though.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
every
MTV
facility.
Unplugged.
Yeah.
Yeah.
MTV Unplugged.
Yeah.
That was like
We're all like giving away our age.
Yeah, well,
'Cause I'm pretty sure that was like.
That was amazing.
you got to be at least. I don't know how old you are though.
I'm 46.
Oh,
47.
shit.
Yeah.
I could have. You can go anywhere
Could
from.
I?
I would have been. I anywhere from 30 to.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. I would have
Okay.
not.
Y'all
guessed
hear that,
46.
y'all out there? All the ladies out there? You see that? I look young. No, I'm kidding. No, I'm 46 years old. Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like ladies typically like a older person anyways though.
Well, I would hope so, right?
You know, I mean that's
know what I'm
when
saying?
you're like
That's good to get the
51
young-
like me. You better hope so.
Yes, you would have. My
Yeah.
46 gave me a 40, 41, 42, somewhere in there. Latest, I would say 38. You know what I'm saying? I can't do too young.
Oh, wait, are you single?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes,
okay.
I am. You know, one of the good things is being single. I'd say for like the last 6 months, you go through a journey of just like who you are and what you've been through and like what you're willing to accept and what you're not willing to accept, right? And I think dating is really awesome, but it also tells you weed people out real quick.
Oh
right?
yeah.
'Cause
One
I'm
date
like,
is all I
"Skirt."
needed when I was dating. One date, and I was like, there was every one of them. There was a deal breaker. I was like, that's a deal breaker.
Woo, yes.
That's a deal breaker.
Yes.
That's a deal breaker.
So you were like, you weren't even willing to give a second chance to the
No,
person.
no, and especially
well,
if they
you know-
slept with me on the first date, that was a
well,
deal
that's
breaker.
it. Well, you know what? It's so different, I think, with, and I wouldn't say gender as far as women and men, but there is a piece that, like, with women, I feel like there's such a deep connection. You know what I'm saying? With women, because obviously I'm an LGBT person.
Yeah.
I'm gay. I'm a person, same gender loving and stuff like that. And I think it is like just a different level, you know, getting to know somebody. And then, like you said, like sleeping, you know, there's a different, I mean, don't get me wrong, there are some dogs out there, woo, woo, woo. You know what I'm saying? That will be like stud broads and whatever, they'll whip it out, strap on, let's get to it. You know? But they're into that part. Then there's the intellectual part with their sapisexuals. If y'all don't know what that means.
Wait,
look
what?
it up. Sapisexual.
Say it again.
Which sapisexuals, which are folks that are intrigued by people that have intellect and intelligence and, you know, have that stimulant with
Yeah.
that
I like
person.
that.
Yeah.
I would say that I'm a.
Sapisexual.
Yeah.
Is that what we're doing? Okay. Well, that's awesome. I think that's one of the things that people get, you know, they're drawn to people that have a lot of not influence and all that other stuff. I mean, that's charisma, right?
Sure.
But the other part of the educational aspect that draws you in for a person.
Yeah.
So I look for that part. I can't have somebody that's just there that looks beautiful but don't have no brains,
Dumb as
right?
rocks.
And I have been, the last
dumbass?
girl I dated was a model. She was banging hot, right? And I know if you listening to this, because you probably will, because you follow me on my Instagram, was banging hot. But first of all, she was married and almost going through a divorce.
Oh.
So that didn't she ended up back with her man, which that's fine. I don't care if somebody's bisexual or whatever, but get your shit together.
Yeah.
You know, are you in or you fucking out? Are you in or you out? Because if you're in, it's good. Man, woman,
You know, but-
transgender, I don't
Yeah,
give a
yeah,
shit.
yeah.
Can I tell
Totally.
you though?
Look at Shane.
Can we-
Don't want
can I
He's
tell
like,
you-
what?
Can I tell you since
What's
we're
up?
on
Talk
that
to me.
subject?
Yeah, let's talk.
Us
Talk about
straight men don't want bisexual men because, like, are you in or are you out?
Well, there's
I'm,
that.
I'm in. Like, you in or you out? You are or you aren't. You can't have both.
Well,
That's
so-
how us straight men think.
Well, you know what? That's a really interesting perspective because there's some folks that are cool with it and some people that are just like,
We're
no.
only like that with guys, though. We're
But
cool.
you like agree with
we're
the
cool
women,
with-
Right.
Like let's
Fine.
bring it on
Right.
right here. There's like 3, 4, 5, 6 people. Let's go. You like would get into that poly relationship, but you
Yes.
only got to have a vagina, a
Yes.
JJ.
Yes.
Because if you got anything
Yes.
else that's poking out or
Yeah.
a tractor, we
Yep.
only do turtles here.
Yep.
Right? Is that what we're doing? Okay. That's what I thought so. But I think everybody's sexual orientation can be such, you know, there's such a spectrum of like gender and then also the sexual orientation that one
Yeah.
holds. And then there's the sexual orientation when we shut off the lights and let's
Sure.
get to it.
Yeah,
Right?
well,
And
behind-
drugs and
there's
alcohol
a
and-
whole different
Right.
behind the doors.
Oh, did he? Don't
Hello?
even talk about that part. What?
I want to know though. I have a question.
Sure,
Is
I'm
Diddy
right here.
gonna ever see the light of day again?
Yikes. I would have to say, I don't think so. I mean, they really got him hemmed up. That guy, you know, that person, and, you know, I only caught the gist of it because I'm telling you, in my other life, I should have been a lawyer, right? I love the factor of just, you know, besides just defending all the above and social justice stuff that I do, I think looking at what he's done in his relationship with domestic violence, I've in the beginning of my relationships with this one woman, I had domestic violence that she would would want to do all kind of different things. But on the flip side, his stuff has got brought to the light, right? So in doing that, it shows all your stuff. And knowing that men and women, some people have done all that stuff that he's doing, but he had the platform for power and a privilege of money, right? So the way I look at it is now he's on the flip side of getting these folks that are like lawyers trying to get him out. I think he even got an attorney for the death sentence. Not that he was getting that, but something so serious as such. But I really don't think, I think they're going to make an example, you know, especially like trafficking women. We don't play that shit around here. You know what I'm saying? That's what's
Yeah.
up. You know, we don't.
And I think some of them were underage.
Yes. That part, you know, I think that's the other thing. And, you know, bringing light of day, especially for women. And the men, too, out there. And the trans women and the trans men, they do sex work, too. But, not, you know, not the part where it's against what they want to be doing.
Right.
You
that's
feel me?
that's the key element, I think.
Yeah.
I'm good with anybody doing whatever they want.
Thank
If you
you.
want to go and you want to purchase and have sex with somebody and someone is willing to get paid to have sex with you, I'm good with it. Who am I to tell anybody what to do? However, it's when you start forcing others against their will, that's where we're like drawing dicey lines here, you know?
I agree. I agree.
Well,
Well,
hello.
you do because you're
Your
a-
wife's
you're-
chained
you're-
up right
you're-
now.
you're-
I
you're-
agree
Oh,
wholeheartedly.
snap.
You're a world traveler, so
Yeah, I agree
you know
wholeheartedly.
you know
You know?
stuff that we don't.
100%.
So Shane's like literally a world
Yeah.
traveler, right?
Yeah?
He's lived 17 lives.
17 lives. So.
Cat?
Lightweight.
Lightweight cat?
Lightweight cat, yeah.
We're going to go like tiger
Yeah.
status.
Yeah.
Tiger. Okay, round.
Yeah, I used to travel.
Let's go.
I used to travel, and I enjoyed myself. So I
Yeah.
agree with what you're saying. If you're willing, but in my experience, some of those people were sad
Yeah.
and came from poverty
Yeah.
and had no
Sure.
choice, even though they were willing participants. They
True.
did it to get out of a hole or from a poor country. They came for a year or two to do certain stuff and go home and buy a home. Go back to the
No,
country
totally.
and buy a house.
And I mean, you can. That's peeling back a whole nother layer
Yeah.
because you can say that in for a
yeah,
wide
Any-
ride. Of,
I agree.
you know, like
I
strip
agree.
clubs. A lot of girls
100%.
in a strip club. Some of
100%.
them are.
100%.
Some
It's
of them are
traumatic.
on drugs.
Yep.
It's traumatic. It's PTSD. It's trauma. It's not a good lifestyle. No matter if you're willing.
Well,
or
it
not.
just leaves a lot of
baggage.
damage
Yeah.
amongst yourself
100%.
that you might not think that you will endure, but it does
100%.
because
It's tough.
it
It's
is.
tough.
So one of the things is I graduated the FBI Citizens Academy. There's
Oh,
a lot of
wow.
stuff that people don't know about me, right?
Yeah.
You know, you just pop out, right? You're like, this is me. But you know, one of the things is I actually probably like 3 months ago I did, and I actually brought you And I'm going to get y'all too, because I bought about 6 of them on my way out there, you know, of who you want to give to, like from the FBI. But it was the Citizens Academy that I was involved in. They gave me, I got to see, like, I got to go out there and shoot guns. They told us all about that. But speaking on what you said about, like, trafficking, they talked to us about hotlines that are available through the federal government in respects. And I know there's a lot of controversy going on, but really seeing past all that, there's still help, you know, for those folks that are being trafficked and, you know, being sold. And they were showing us a case scenario of, you know, these little girls and these guys, these perverts from over here in the United States trying to get folks that are like in like Thailand or somewhere far away that are like virgins, and they're paying only like $2,000 for them. And they're going interaction, and the FBI is like, you know, grabbing all this information and like arresting these folks and doing like special stuff. But I mean, there are out there, you know, doing some stuff. But I'm gonna give you this right now.
We have the guy from Sound of Freedom, the producer. You know Sounds of Freedom?
No, which am I fired?
The trafficking movie.
No, I don't
child
think
trafficking
I don't
movie.
think I've seen this.
Oh.
There you go. It's a challenge coin.
Oh, thank you.
Don't
These
be
are
mad, I got you on Twitter.
amazing.
Let's
This is
can
like
you-
the
So when I
highest
graduated, they gave us a couple of the coins. So I was like, I know y'all
Thank you
in
so much.
doing like, you know what I'm saying? Like law enforcement, you know, there's different stuff, or your family's been involved and stuff like that. And I think it's important to honor those folks. You know
Oh,
what
for
I'm saying?
sure. The coins, these are like amazing. In the military,
Yeah.
they'll have their different branches or different somebody's phone keeps pinging. Is that yours, Shane?
Mine's not ringing.
Is it your iPad?
No. Nothing. No.
Maybe it was mine.
Oh, now you busted out. He got pinged on real quick. You can take it out.
Okay.
Take it out. I think that's the best part. So I gave those out to some folks that have been awesome and done some awesome work. And that's the reason why I wanted to give it to you.
Oh,
Because
my
I see
God,
that you're
thank
doing
you.
stuff, you know, out there. The
How
whole Hopeaholics, you know what I mean?
I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. Natalie
so
is
wait a
out
minute.
there.
Were you
Natalie
not
is out
honest
there,
before?
out there doing the most, man.
No,
She
that's
really
awesome.
is. Like, I couldn't be more proud to know her and everything that she's doing. She stepped into this thing.
Yeah.
Like coming up on 2 years, right? 2 years ago,
Awesome.
she just stepped in your seat right there.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
That's what's up. Okay.
Stepped in. It was coming up on 2 years, and literally just saw her passion, saw what she wanted to do with her life,
Yeah.
and it was everything. And she literally packed up her life and went 110% in. It's fucking dope.
Wow.
Now
I know-
getting a divorce, and now I'm officially here.
Well, you know what? Some things, you know, when we talk about stuff like divorce. So like what was it, 10 or 15 years ago, I was married, and it sounds
Oh my God,
weird,
really?
And it sounds weird
Okay.
to even say, right?
So you were married 10 or
Like probably about 10 or 15 years ago. What am I?
For how long?
I was like 5 to 8 years. You know, because if we want to,
You see,
you want to know about the 5 to 8? You want to know about that?
The part that
Listen.
cracking me up is that
Okay,
like,
here we go.
I was married
Okay, let's hear about it.
before, and I know exactly how many years I was married. It was
Okay.
9.
Okay, so you want to hear my 5 to 8 situation?
Yes.
So 5 was when we were married, and then the 8 part with the 5, 6, 7, 8, which is 3 more years, was when we were together, but we weren't officially married.
Okay.
But I still like be like, all right, 8 years, because I still had to.
Okay, so you married.
Because I still had to deal with her ass. You know what I'm saying?
All right,
For all
mine
that
was-
8
mine-
years.
Mine was
I'm on
9
my-
to 14.
9 to 14. Okay, so that's so. And what's yours? And where we at with you two?
10.
10,
Happily married at 17.
17.
3
That's
kids,
what's up.
yeah.
Yeah. Wow. That's great.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I'm also currently married, coming up on 9 years.
Yeah, my hats are off to you. Sometimes it can be very difficult navigating lifestyles as we live and traveling, and it's hard to have a 9-year-old, right? So I went through artificial insemination, and she belongs to me, period. So I don't share her with any of the other girlfriends, any ex, whatever. I went and had my own kid through my own stomach, and I had my own kid. And went through artificial insemination, went to what is it called? A willing to be known donor.
Sure.
And some people be like, yo, you lesbians are all up in it. First of all, I ain't a lesbian. I love who I love, period, right? And they're like, so fuck all that. And you know the craziest thing, and no offense to anybody out there, this is my story, right? So what I was going to say is that when I first heard that when I was younger growing up, they're like, you're a lesbian. I'm like, what the fuck is that?
Right.
You know, what is that? And then it sounded like, no offense to nobody, this is my story, remember? There was like, oh my goodness. And I was thinking in my brain, I was like, man, that sounds like a disease, like Lyme disease or something. And so that was supposed to be funny, by the way, but it wasn't. Okay, but listen, hear me out. And then and then my friends would come up to me and they'd be like butch broads, and they'd be like, yeah, it's lesbians. I was like, I never really felt like a lesbian before, so I don't know what that actually feels like or sounds like. I was just a human. Can I be a human?
Yeah.
Do you hear me?
I feel
You know what I'm saying? Let people
good
love
with
me
that.
if they love me. Can I be a human? You know?
I'm good with that.
So,
yeah.
so where were
All
we?
day.
My train fell off the track.
Lesbian.
Baby, you.
Oh, my baby Charisma.
Oh,
Charisma with
shit.
a K. I had to go ahead and put the K back.
Yeah.
In it, right. You know,
Kristina with a
when
K.
I go, she needs to make sure that she reps still, right? So I went through and I looked at, and anybody that's listening to this right now, whether you're a woman, whether you're a man, go have your baby. Stop waiting for Prince or Princess,
Sure.
Prince Ed, or any of that stuff. Go do you. You know what I'm saying? Why do we wait for people? We have lost too much time waiting on the next person. Be about yourself, do yourself. So I did. Ended up and been raising her ever since. I mean, I dated and I did whatever in between that, but only when it was relevant, I would bring Charisma around. So now she's 9.
Wow.
And so this little baby right here, she's mixed. So she's Irish, English. Her donor was Blackfoot, and I'm Aztec, Spanish, Native American, Cherokee Nation, and also Western Apache.
Wow.
So it's a mix, which you say represent, you know what I'm saying? My heritage as an Aztec person and also Native American person. So that's her, and when she turns 18, she can go ahead. I signed, it was expensive, but I got a willing to be known donor. So when she turns 18 years old,
Oh my gosh.
she can sign off. Because who am I to be to tell somebody, if I was small and I didn't know my parents, well, she knows me because I had her. And I still got a little bit of fluff going on here. We're going to have to talk because I know she be working out.
Oh, yeah.
She be working out, so I'm going to need some
Yeah.
tips. I'm going to need some, what do I need to do?
Yeah, just
You're like,
them
Kristina,
tips.
just go work.
Some peptides,
Just go and work out. Yeah, we can be clapped, okay? We'll be clapped together, okay? So anyways, I just, I think one of the things that's important that we wait too long and we let time pass.
Sure.
And I think it's very important that we start going for what we want, because a lot of times we stay in this area of what other people wanted. What I wanted before is I'm going to have a wife and she's going to have my kids. And no, I had my own fucking kids, right? She's going to provide for me. She's going to go ahead and do all this stuff. No, I went and got my education. And who's doing a dual doctorates right now? I am.
Wow.
And my dual doctorates, in the beginning when I first started, I used to work in prisons, right? I was a program director for the Department of Corrections and worked with lifers and long-termers with an organization called KDAC. Then from there, so I went and got my bachelor's in criminal justice administration. I'm like, I'm gonna go fucking rule. I'm gonna go and run a prison and be a warden. Then I'm like, fuck that shit. I'm living like literally in doing this and working with these long-term and lifers. They're being peer support counselors. And I said, fuck that, I'm gonna go be a therapist. Went ahead, did my master's program. Now I have my master's in counseling psychology
gosh.
with an emphasis in marriage and family therapy. That ain't fucking enough because I'm an overachiever because nobody paid attention to me when I was small. But that's a whole nother fucking story. And that's why we don't have a whole hour and a half for this, right? So what ends up happening is a little while longer, I saw the calling of wanting to do ministry. So I'm doing my doctorates right now in the Doctor of Ministry with holistic counseling ministry, and I'm doing a dual one on metaphysical science as well too. So I'll be a dual doctorate because it's just not enough just to
Look
have
at
one.
you.
No,
know what
I
I'm
mean, that's
saying?
pretty
It's
dope.
not.
That's
That's
like
dope.
my dad is a dual PhD, and then he has that wasn't enough for him. So
Oh, yeah.
he went and got an
Because we think
he
we're
went-
not enough.
Yeah.
He went and got an MD.
Oh man, you know what? Okay, really quick, everybody. Okay, plot twist. Ready? So one of the things is I would have loved to be an MD. I would have liked to be a psychiatrist, right? But I can never fucking say all that words from like 26. All the words, I know them, but I was like, fuck that shit. It ain't happening. They're paying like $350,000 a year in corrections. And then do I want to work in corrections my whole life?
Yeah.
I need to parole at some time. Never been in prison, went to juvenile hall, should have been in prison, but got to run programs in prisons and get to sit here with y'all lovely people.
Yeah.
Talk about the other afterlife, the rebirth,
Yeah.
the resurrection. Yeah.
I want to know, do you have any siblings?
Brother and sister.
Older or younger?
Well, I'm the rainbow sheep.
Okay.
So we're all 3 years apart.
Okay.
That's what we're working with. I got a sister named Sonia Padilla and a brother named Vincent Padilla. In the tech world, my sister, house world.
Okay.
Yeah.
How old were you when you came out to your family?
Oh shit, it was terrible. Man. Well, I was going to go to the left lane real quick, but when I came out to my family, I was actually in a program at the time. You know, I was in Casa Maria, and there was a girl that I liked, but that's we're gonna hold the phone real quick before I got in there, right? Because that's when the whole family knew. My brother busted me out, saw me kissing this girl, this other, because I used to be in gangs, this other gang member girl, right? Which will remain speechless because there was a lot of domestic violence. She thought I was a punching bag, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And because her family, how they showed love was that the mother would get beat up by the dad, and the dad would say that I loved you. You feel me? So anyways, that wasn't the question, but it put me down a little circle real quick. So I would say I was probably like, when they first knew that, you know, I liked like women, or, you know, they already knew that I was a little bit different, I could tell, but for the most part, I'd probably say about 16 years old, but then really got busted out when I was 18. Like where they saw me, and somebody, my brother's best friend down the street saw me kissing a girl. I flipped out. I was like, you know, because my mom came up and asked me about it. You know what I'm saying? But then the girl was very violent toward me in the very beginning. I was like, fuck this shit. If this is what it is to date a bitch, I don't want to be with girls. I was like, but I'm gay, if that's what we want to call it at the time. I said, get my ass beat. We're not doing this. But then I was also in a gang, so I was like, hey, what's up? You know what I'm saying? So in front of our gangs, like I would, hey, don't fucking disrespect me. Like I would say man up, but woman up. But behind closed doors, you know, it'd be crank, mess, all that stuff. It was a party, you know what I'm saying? Which was crazy because when I got my shit together, I saw her in prison. And when I was on my way there was an LWOP on my caseload, life without parole. Walking over there, and she yelled out my Picasso, which is called baby girl, because my face looks like a baby. I used to wear all this makeup, little chola.
Really?
You know what I'm saying? Don't have me.
Oh my God.
Don't have me go there. Pull out the you know pictures.
How far back on Facebook do we have to go?
No, not too far. You just gotta. You know what? I wrote a book. You just gotta go to the book. You go in the book, bust that you know what open, and be like, boom! It's got a picture of me, all the little gang signs, and also me in a dress, which I would feel like drag if I was in a dress.
Sure.
I'd be like, I am doing drag, even though I got like still the feminine. Yeah. I'm gender fluid, so I'm very fluid, masculine and feminine, and I don't call myself like, you know, where some folks might be like, they're a man, I'm not a man. I'm gender fluid. I go both. Not both ways, but you know what I'm saying? My fluidity. He's like, I'm waiting for something to come out. Look, and Shane he's just like intrigued. Like, what's up? When am I going to dive in? Or
Wait, I want to dive in. I want to dive in with where are you born and raised?
Tucson, Arizona. Whoop, whoop.
And then how did you fall into gangs?
Gangs.
Off the bat, yeah.
So basically, I went, it's a story. Well, first of all, I got bored, right? Little Kristina got bored. My mom and dad, I didn't come from a bad family. They were busy people, right? My mom worked. She worked as an HR and also did a lot for the school districts, right? And was a president for the union, all that good stuff. My dad was a mechanic and is still a mechanic and never went any other way mechanic, right?
Okay.
And so they were busy. My brother was into guitar and weed. He was in a band, back and forth, and with my cousins. And then my sister, she was like boy crazy. And then there was Kristina with a K. You know what I'm saying? I got bored. So started hanging around people, started knowing some people, started getting some friends that, you know, happened to be in gangs. And, you know, one of the things is not only just hanging around them at school, I wanted to be like that. And I knew I could hide my sexuality underneath the clothes because they were baggy. You know what I'm saying? So like I could do the baggy clothes because as I dress, I think anyone can wear whatever, and to each their own what they think. You can wear whatever clothes you want to, right? So
like Shane can wear this outfit right here,
that would
and post it on Instagram.
Yes,
with his hairy
I
ass.
think I need a picture of that before I leave.
We will. Oh,
can we do a picture before? Yeah, we're gonna
sure.
make it go viral. Okay,
Yeah.
It's happening.
She gonna post that shit on her.
It's okay with me, baby.
Yeah, but that's okay.
I like it.
So
so people can wear whatever they want.
well, yeah. So hanging around folks, and then you know I got really deep into it, and then the fighting I saw. You know, I got in a fight when I was in 5th grade, and I saw the power I got from it. And then not only did I get the power, I got a lot of recognition, and a lot of people paid attention to me for fighting this one girl over this guy, right? So I was like, oh wow. So, anyways, we fast forward a little bit, when I'm driven or I like something, I'm all in. Yeah. Let's go. So I started hanging around them. I got the Dickies, the Ben Davis. I was like, let's go. You know what I mean? You know, at first I would hang around like Crips, and then I went into the northern, like Norte. You know what I'm saying? Like the northern folks, not northern structure. That's the mafia, okay? But you know what I mean? And that part with the men and the women, and I always resonated with the men and hung around the men. So I saw some really crazy shit growing up. That has happened that'll probably be in the grave, you know, till I go, because I'm good. But I got jumped into a gang, when I was 14 years old. They want to make sure that you can take a beating. So I was like, let's get it, bitch. Who's coming first? Let's go. I'm ready to go because I want this. So come and bring it. And then my friend Evil knocked me the fuck out nearly, and I was all up in the mud, and it was all bad. So then I was like fending for my life, looking like a little bitch, trying to get back up. Anyways, I think the most part is I felt the belonging and how important that meant to me, like hierarchy of needs for like Maslow theory. You know what I'm saying? Like that belonging felt everything to me. Not the fighting and the warmth of the hitting of the face that I felt when people were hitting me, and I think back to it like, is that what we really need to do to feel wanted and belonged? And that's what I did.
Well, they beat your ass and then they hug you.
And then did lines of crank and cocaine, and it was a party.
Yeah.
Fucking popping
Alcohol,
bottles. It was on and cracking after that.
Yep.
I didn't cry. We call it crossing the line.
Yeah.
So it's like 14 seconds plus NSL, which is Northside Locals, which we were equivalent to the Northside Local gang in San Mateo. So that's what's up.
And then how long were you in?
You know how long it is for white people?
How long is it?
23 seconds.
Is it for 23 seconds? Is that what happens?
Yeah.
What nationality are you? Everybody got to tell their nationality. Let's get it. So you said white, okay?
Mexican Italian.
Mexican Italian.
I'm Jewish.
I think he's still just stuck. He's like, what is it folded in front of me?
She's asking your race.
That's all the same. Race, religion. Jew is the one. Jew is the one thing. The race and religion is the same.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's a whole nother podcast.
I'm Italian and Danish.
Are you?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Well, would you consider? Okay, so
I don't consider my Italian side white.
Oh, okay. So we're talking about like just white skin or whatever. I know. I asked Charisma what she is. She says I'm tan, and I'm like, okay, that's what we're going with. All right,
That works.
that's what we're working with.
Yeah.
I let people describe how they want. You know what I mean?
I don't care about skin color. Like, care about people's
I just love everybody.
heart.
I'm just a human butterfly. If I could reincarnate, I want to come back as a dog.
Me too. I want to
Dog?
come back as my dog.
Dog. Well, there's that. I'm gonna be a cocker spaniel. Like could be. I have a cocker spaniel.
Bobby's cocker spaniel though.
I don't know who's Bobby. What cocker spaniel we talking about here? What are you getting all this? You know what I'm saying?
Do you want to be Bobby's cocker spaniel?
Bobby does treat it nice.
Well, first of all, who's Bobby?
Bobby does treat
I'm
it nice.
surprised you don't know Bobby because
Everybody knows Bobby.
he was at the West
Pet
Coast
sit, he
Symposium.
walks it. He is a dog lover.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I
he
mean,
really is a pet lover.
He is
but
a pet lover, but no,
he might
he
might love it too much though.
Oh, I hear.
Not
what you're
like- I'm
saying.
not
No, I
saying
hear what
that,
you're
bro.
saying. No, definitely no. He's
I'm talking about like
he takes care of that dog.
He does.
What do you
Yeah.
call it?
Suffocate.
No, he feeds the fuck out of his
Oh,
dog.
for
though.
sure.
So they're overweight.
The peanut butter, the
the
peanut butter on the feet.
Yeah, that's fine. Nothing wrong with that.
Ew.
I don't like it.
Nothing wrong with that.
What do you
Dogs
think?
love it.
Okay, this totally wouldn't.
Yeah,
make
no,
Dogs
totally.
love
Okay,
peanut
so
butter.
Natalie, what's happening?
Yeah,
Dogs
exactly.
love peanut
Okay,
butter.
I don't know what we're doing with
Yeah,
the peanut
Let's
butter
go.
situation.
Yeah, me
So where were we at?
let's get back on track.
Prison, jails,
Yes.
institutions. No, just kidding. And then we'll do part 2 with the peanut
Yeah.
butter and what's going on right there behind Clowns
Seriously.
Wars part 2 at the Hopeaholics podcast up in here. Don't
I mean,
play.
you never
I
know. Shane's here, so
Oh, I can't.
That is
Even, I
and he's
believe
from
it.
Canada. So,
Oh, well, there's that. They just put you on the map.
yeah.
You know, we got a lot
He's
of First
originally
Nations
from
people.
Winnipeg, Canada, which I found out from other Canadians that Winnipeg is one
wait
of
till-
the most strangest spots
Yeah.
in Canada.
Right.
Okay,
Yeah.
so are you
Yeah.
ready for it? Are you ready for it? So Winnipeg, here's some history real quick because I love history, right? Because for what we got going on right now. So for two-spirited people, which are folks that are Native American that have two spirits, we're very sacred people, okay? I should have brought y'all some Palo Santo. Next time I see y'all, we burning sage, Palo Santo, I seen y'all got amethyst stone up in there, and we need to clean that before I leave. So you know what I'm saying? We're going to make sure that it's got powerful, for whoever goes in there. Not necessarily because it's in the bathroom, that kind of clean, but that
Right.
cleansing
Yeah.
clean.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, cool. Yeah.
Okay, so Winnipeg, Canada. So First Nation people, what's it called? Where they got two spirits from? Because a long time ago they used to call us as a two-spirit person, because we used to be consultants for the chiefs, matchmakers. We would also be in the naming ceremonies as well too, and name babies, name folks, and also give them their Indian names as well too in ceremony. Y'all should come to a powwow.
I know. I totally want to go.
Y'all got to go to a
Yeah.
powwow. We got to figure that out. Culture piece. So Winnipeg,
Yeah.
Canada.
Yeah.
They came up, and it was a gay and lesbian, what's it called? Not a program. It is a conference. And so what they did is they went through ceremony, and they came up with the name Two Spirits. But there's also indigenous folks, too, that do not resonate with the Two Spirits. There's probably about 30 tribes that were there, but it's really, which we call Turtle Island, United States. There's some tribes that weren't at the table, so they have their own names for Two-Spirit or LGBT people because they feel like it's colonized for the LGBTQ. So they have their own stuff. However, it was sacred because it came from Canada, Winnipeg, Canada, where you from?
Yeah.
Woo, woo, okay? And so that's a really sacred area because it was ceremonial. You know what I'm saying? So it was
100%
really big.
First Nations is really big in Winnipeg. Then,
And
yeah.
yeah, and
Assiniboine River with North Dakota. I'm
yeah.
Cree. I'm Cree. I have 50%. I have my treaty card.
wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's coming out, you know what I'm saying? Even more. So it's very, it's when you said that, I was like, oh my goodness, that's where they came up with the Two Spirits in 1990 at one of the places.
1990, huh?
1990, yeah. It was really awesome. Well, they used to be called Barache or Bertiches, which if you speak French means kept boy, in French, right? And so they said it was a derogatory and they wanted to bring that back and take that back. And so that's what ended up happening as well, too. I'm also an educator. I like to train people. I'll train all over the nation, but I don't want to go too far because I didn't know if we were going somewhere else or we can go left or I could put my blinker on and turn right because I could go in that realm or I could go this way. But I love educating people anywhere from the top to the bottom to the bottom to the top.
I love it.
Is that? I mean, I felt like she was about to bust out in a rap song.
I mean,
Yeah,
I
I know.
could. Do you want me to go chicka chicka? You know what I'm saying? What
Well,
you-
I
what you
want
need?
to know how long you were in the gang, and then what was like a pivotal moment because obviously you're in recovery.
Correct.
So, what happened? At what point? I'm sure there's multiple
It
things.
says
that
right
happened.
here, but yeah, that's one of the questions on our thing. So, the gang part, and then it looks like you had an overdose. That was a turning point. So.
Quite a couple of them, yeah. So I'll go ahead and resonate with the first one first, which was my train fell off the track. What was that again?
How long were you in the gang
Oh,
for?
how long? You don't really get out of a gang, you know? I mean, there are dropouts, in prisons that you get out or, you have your stripes enough to walk away. And that was kind of more my aspect, or they'll come find you and jump you out.
Sure.
Depending on and another thing, I'm a certified gang specialist as well too. So I did a whole thing on motorcycle gangs, the 1%ers, and educated myself on anything. If I'm going to be an expert in something, and I really don't think everyone's an expert, I think they just know a lot of that information as a subject matter expert. You should really research and get the information so you're able to get the right facts out. But getting back to your part, hopefully the train didn't fall off the track. Okay, hold on, I'm all choo choo. You said gangs. So one of the things is I was hardcore in gangs. I seen some stuff, did some stuff, and one of the things, the turning point is it kind of didn't turn out. It kind of just wailed out. It kind of if you think of water just kind of hitting the bay and it just kind of dissipates. It's kind of like that. Cause I still talk to my friends, some folks that have died, unfortunately, I talk to them spiritually. You know what I'm saying, in a different way. I know you with me. I know, you know what I'm saying, that they died, for the cause, the different stuff that's happened. So I kind of just got busy into, I went to juvenile hall, came out, and I was like, no, I need to do something else with my life. And there's some other stuff when I was younger as well, too. But I stayed very connected and even birthed another gang in another same gang, but a different city. Just like if there was Hope by the Sea, it'd be Hope by the Sea, but in a different city.
Sure.
Yeah.
Because that's what we do. But who would have known I was such a good recruiter and recruiting gang members, right? To do the work of recovery and recruit people that way too, and use all that to bring it into the forefront and be a leader of a gang and be a leader in recovery. So, right? So as I went through my bachelor's, my master's, it kind of just I pushed it away a little bit more. And then my mom moved us out of where I was at, of a lot of gang infested areas. And anyways, I would go find the areas. Okay, we're in a good spot. Let me go find, just like we go find some dope. Let's go ahead and find that area and let me go ahead and build it up. Let me go build the following. Let me get people, because I'm good with that. I can gather some people real quick. And so I kind of just stayed away. And I'd always been, because of the work that I did and what I was doing. And now I have a kid too, as well too.
Sure.
I'm too old for that shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I got my shit together. You want to go do that? That's your each your own. I gotta love you at a distance, because that's toxic for me. That's going to put me behind bars where I don't want to be. I work in prisons where I can walk in and walk back out these days.
Yeah.
We ain't doing all that. But do I have the street smarts? Fuck yeah. Do I have up there working with lifers and long-termers, people that have done all kind of stuff? Yep. And I go in there and I kick it real, right? But then I knew I needed to come out and help people out here. So kind of just faded away, but it's still there. I don't think, like I said before, I think about it, I see it, I can resonate for those people, just like with people that were not doing use or not in alcohol or drugs, you know, folks that are peers that have, had drinking or alcohol could really resonate those. So I think I resonate really strong with those folks, but I also want a bigger picture with everyone.
Yeah.
I didn't want it just one folks. So
Right.
I think that was that the question?
Yeah,
Okay.
for sure. And then when did you decide that you needed to get sober?
Oh my goodness. Whew. Okay, so one of the things that was really deep for me was that, so I'm coming up on 24 years.
Wow.
July 4th.
Damn.
And so it's like July 4th. Whew. Okay, so I think, what decided? I think what was when I'm fucking tired of this shit happened. But there had been many times, in my perception, remember this is my story, that we don't always have to say we hit rock bottom. You could be just like, I'm fucking tired of this shit. Because not always are we all the way at rock bottom, or I'd be in the fucking, I'd be in jail, prison, or, and then I don't even think that'd rock bottom. I think what's rock bottom is 6 feet deep, you know what I'm saying, dead. And you're speaking through people through some spirits, right? So the turning point for me is I had an overdose, and one of the overdoses, because I had overdosed before, I had been up for a long time. It was a long run. I used to be a driver for a particular place, and I would drive dope from one city to the next and drop it off, right? And so I know how to drive really well. And that's why I got some tickets, and I just got a ticket. So, get in and out. If you ever you need me to deliver, I got you. I go in and out real quick. Let's get the fuck on, okay? I'm glad now we got Uber because they could drive for me. No more tickets. Shane just like, hey. And so, well, good. I think I might look intriguing because he's just like, let me see. What?
I'm just listening.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm here.
You should be impressed because normally
sometimes
he's
like
sleeping.
this already.
Yeah.
No,
Let's go.
Okay.
And he's like zoned out, ready to walk out the door. So the fact that he's like all engaged and is drawn in is a good thing.
Okay, so moving forward, all right? So driving. Where was I again? I tell you, I got ADHD, but
Uber.
undiagnosed.
Uber, thank God for Uber. Now you don't have
Uber
to.
and stuff, so I don't do all that. Oh, so what happens is I had been out on a run. I went to like the East. I'm gonna say the East Coast. It wasn't the East Coast, but on when I was out in the Bay Area. And I had went to across the bay and had done a run. And I did it with this one powerful gang member, this dude. And he thought it was his turn to take advantage of me. But one of the things I'd say about this is that I had been up for quite a long time. And if you know anybody that's listening right now, being up for a long time, plus being skinny as shit, fucking tired, also a girlfriend that was fucking beating on you, you know what I'm saying? And just like, you're just fucking on one, right? I mean... I went upstairs because he says, hey, go upstairs really quick. I'll meet you up there. And he went up there and he took advantage of me and raped me, and I could barely even pull him off of me. And anyways, what ends up happening, this is the story of, this is when I was fucking just like, I'm enough. I was like, no, we ain't doing this shit. You know what I'm saying? You got to get the fuck off me. But, it turned kind of not in it was all bad. So what happens is I end up putting back my clothes on where he had pulled off and all that other stuff. Get back. I couldn't even find my fucking underwear, right? I was like, where did my stuff go? You know what I mean? And I'm young. I'm super young. And so I'm like, oh my goodness, I didn't ask for this shit, but my mind's going a million, and I have to ride back with this asshole. So back across the bridge, because we did this run, and I had all this meth and crank and I was gonna say crack, but no, it was cocaine that we'd wrap up with bags. We'd wrap them up and stuff like that. And, it was big. So how to do that. So I knew how the hell I was going to get home. And I took my mom's car. Okay. So, cause I didn't have a car at the time. I don't know what happened. Oh, it was a long story, but I had a BMW when I was younger and it was all flipped out. It's in my book too. I like Dayton's rims or whatever. Cause I sold dope, which, I felt bad about it later, but it's nothing like the fentanyl that's on the fucking street these days. Not that I'm trying to co-sign or justify nothing. But anyways, I end up writing back and not saying nothing to him. You know what I'm saying? Getting back there. And then I go back there. We go to the house, which I was best friends with his sister that says, hey, go in the room with my brother. And he was a big time, like, Northingham from, like, the Barrio and shit. And I was like, oh, okay, I'll go. Bad decision, but I was making all kind of fucked up bad decisions. So this is just one more. Why not? So I get back there, and anyways, I must have parked. I was so fucked off that I parked, went into the house, fell asleep at my friend's house, you know what I'm saying, in her room. I woke up, I came out, the fucking car's gone. And I'm like, where the hell's the car? Because in dropping the stuff out, we picked up some other stuff to make more for whatever. Long story short, it was still in the car. So then they took the car. I went in a no-tone. Who the fuck parks in a no-tone, no parking stall? Me, outside someone's house. Do not park here. Did you not see that? No, I didn't. Not in 3 o'clock in the morning or 4, and I'm loaded as shit. Hell no, I didn't. So what ends up happening is I'm flipping out, and it says, if you were towed, like, to call this number. And I'm like, holy shit, what's that? And then I had to call my mom, because it's my mom's car. They're like, well, we need the owner of the car to come get it. So my mom's over there, like, at an IHOP, I think, or some fucking Denny's. And I'm like, Mom, where are you? I pull up, I get out there, get a ride over there from him, but he's afraid. So he's like super far out, you know what I mean? Because I was like, I don't want them to think that I had somebody come steal their dope. So I was like, no, I felt scared, because I was like, they're into all kind of shit. I was like, hey, I need a ride. He was the only one, real quick, which is still uncomfortable as shit, but my mind's still going. I'm starting to detox while I'm trying. It was like sweat, my teeth fucking hurt. Everybody knows what I'm talking about. And like just feeling like terrible. And so I end up going to this place. My mom sees me. I probably look like the hell just walked right in. Like, we want to talk about someone's resurrected that came out of, the ground. That was me. And so I'm like all worried about, like, where is this car? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So then we go and we find out or whatever. I don't know, it's like $200-$300 to get the car out and stuff like that. We get it out. So anyways, and my mom's like, when are you coming home, or this, that, the other, or whatever. And so anyways, I still went out. You know what I'm saying? I get back to the house. I fucking leave. I go see my girlfriend, tell her what's happening, what's going on and stuff like that. Though this girl thinks that it's cool because I'm so beyond myself and it's nighttime, decides to try to kick my ass, in the midst, because she was very jealous woman. And just didn't want me around any men or women. It didn't even fucking matter. You know how you said, I don't care, I just want some women? No, I couldn't fucking be around men or women. She thought everybody. I'm like, bitch, where am I supposed to even breathe? But anyways, like I said, I was like 18. I was super young, or 19. And so what ends up happening is I go to her house. Well, anyways, I swear this bitch tried to almost kill me. So she gets me, starts fighting. I try to tell her what happened. She gets jealous and angry of what happened to me. And then starts choking me out, throws me to the floor, and I barely, because back in the day, I could scrap. I could, like, fight. You know what I mean? I don't know about now. I grab someone's after us, I'm grabbing some shit. Natalie, get him. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, look, you do. But it's like, oh, my God. There was, like, she started, like, just wailing shit at me. She went ahead. She threw a 40 at me because I tried to escape. Her door was locked. I tried to get out of there. Finally got out of there. Then she pinned me down in front of her house, and she stabbed me with a screwdriver. And I'm all, this fucking bitch. But anyways, I just tried to get away from her, which I did, and I ran, and I tripped. And I smacked, and when she had thrown the 40 or whatever to get out of the way, I smacked my face on the floor and was getting up. Mind you, I had just been raped, okay? Got messed up, and this girl lived like 2 blocks away from me. So here's the ending. I go home, my aunt's visiting at any time. And anybody listening, you know how it is when you're loading, you want to go ahead and just got to walk past, and nobody knows. I drank too much, or you know what I'm saying? I just did too much dope, or I look like shit. Somebody beat me up. Who knows who hit me? And I'm trying to just get through the door. And my thing was like, I need to go get some milk. So let me get some milk. That was my go-to. Like, if I got the milk, I was going to be fine, but I had to pass the fucking living room there's a couch, right? I was like, my dad's going to be there. My mom's going to be there. So anyways, I get there, and, I knew that there was I knew my aunt was staying there and all that other stuff. Anyways, my mom was waiting for me, right? I get in there, and your aunt is visiting, and I was trying to walk. I don't even know what I said. I can't even remember to this point of what it was. I went to go get the milk. I got the milk, turned around, and all I remember is waking up, and paramedics are everywhere. Oh, but what had happened was that the milk had dropped out. This is the other part my mom told me about, because I couldn't see. I was knocked the fuck out. I passed out right in the middle of the living room with my milk. Everything went all over the place. And she had to call 911 because she thought I did overdose. And so then I was all messed up. I had like all these different things down because, not only had been stabbed in the stomach, right? But God. Like, and had to endure like this freaking rape, and then then the car got towed. I was stressed out, and just, I'd been up for all week. I was like, oh my God. So my mom, anyways, they say, we're gonna have to take you in. Do you know where you're at? Who the fuck knows where they're at after they had knocked their head on the floor, milk everywhere? I was like, no, you know what I'm saying? We're the so-and-so, whatever. You're gonna come with us. And, they took me out or whatever. But, one of the things I have to say is that still didn't fucking stop me, like the overdose. But what did is the factor of I knew I was going to see that bitch again. I was like, no, I don't want to be with her. That was very violent. It was ugly. What had happened to me, and there could have been a more of a low that could have went way low. It could have been gang violence, could have been whatever. But I was like, I woke up that next morning after I got out of the hospital because they're like, you're lucky that you didn't become a vegetable. You took so much, meth. Right. And I was like, well, thank God. And they're like, is there anything else that happened? Because we see there's all these, like, how somebody gives you a hickey, right? Mm-hmm. There was like hickey that where you had been pushed away or like some scratch marks and some other stuff. They could tell somebody, and I had like, what is it called? Bruises from my neck being held. And so I was like, I don't want to report anybody. But yeah, something happened to me. You know what I'm saying? And so they helped me the best that they could. They released me. And then and the next morning I was like, man, Mom, you know what I'm saying? I woke up and I was like, look, if you take me, I'll go right now. I'll go right now. And they had been trying to get me into like fucking rehab for a minute, right? And they had all these different beds and they're like, oh my goodness, whoever takes this child is going to need to be witty because I know she is, and they are very smart, and you better fucking come on with it because, good luck with that shit. And so I ended up going to this place called Casa Maria. And I just remember that was my turning moment of me saying, fuck, I'm away from this girl. I'm away from my gang. I then missed my gang and the gang involvement and, the community that it brought when you did do drugs. But then I found there's also a place that we can not do drugs and people be around and people that are my people. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And staying connected being so important to me and what that looks like. So that was my changing point of addiction, of saying, what the fuck, right? But I go to this program. I end up going to this program, was doing really good, like 6 to 8 months, right? And this one fucking pretty girl comes up the fucking steps, just got out of jail, coming up, fucking just beautiful, comes up, and I was like, oh, shit. And I got to tell y'all, when we're coming into treatment, and I don't mean to put this out there, just you put me in a whole women's facility, oh, it's fucking on. You know what I'm saying? I was like,
that ain't fair.
Oh, what's up?
That ain't fair. Like,
I was like, yes. So then it was like already dibs. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Coming up the stairs. Yeah. So, I had it popping. For a minute up there, you know what I mean? And doing my thing. But I had just one girl, the girl that I was with at the time, I got kicked out of the fucking program. It was so sad because there was this girl that liked me and was hating on me. And it was like, oh, Kristina kissed this girl in the bathroom. And it was just a kiss. But we saw, them that I was like, okay, go, you're just mad. You're mad because I didn't get the time of death. You mad it wasn't you, and it was not happening with you anyway. It's bad. And so one of the things I'd have to say though is I hated how they dismissed me when I left. There was no resources they gave me. There was a guy named Pedro that I loved. Pedro was awesome. He took us to all of our appointments. I had mental health appointments, because like I struggle with depression a lot and anxiety. I have generalized anxiety disorder, even way back, right? But one of the things is Pedro, they're like, they didn't give me anything. They just go pack your stuff and you got to go. And like all the women are crying, because I was like a little clown up in there back in the day. But then I started working my program and was serious about my shit. Y'all know what I'm talking about when you first get to recovery. Don't fucking play. We're thinking about, all right, I'm gonna make myself look real good. Who else is up in here? Or for those that have the co-ed, we get to mingle with some men or whatever. Oh, we gonna pop lock it. Okay, we gonna make sure I still got it. But did we not know that we needed to actually at that time, really do a deep dive into ourselves? That would have been bomb, but it took me a little bit longer. And in doing so, I think it made me the person that I am today. But being one thing that's very important is because I left and they gave me no resources, they gave me all that stuff. The girl that I was messing with ended up leaving the program and coming to stay with me. She was an active alcoholic. She extremely drank all the time. And what I'll say is that she ended up using again, and then I went out with her. But I don't put that on her. I put that on me. I take my responsibility of going back out. And then I ended up saying, fuck this isn't for me. And then she couldn't figure out what baby daddy was what with all the kids and whether she wanted another kid, even though she had 5 kids, right? And I still was open. I'm always open, like just a person that's loving. Are you a good fucking human or what?
Right.
Where are we at? And so in closing for that, I ended up getting back out. I lost my date, which I was upset about because it was just fucked up. And then I turned 23, and that's when I'm actually celebrating 24 years. You know what I'm saying? At 46. Look, I'm trying to say I'm 56. What the fuck? 46. Pushing. I'm not trying to push no 10 years, okay? Like, So, and I just want to tell everybody out there, sometimes we have slips, everybody, and that's not a part to be like, fucking, I'm giving everything up. Because some of us think that, you know what, we lose our dates, we lose the time that we have, that, you know what, we're still here and we show up.
Yeah, for sure.
We show up and, you know, we're recovery architects and architects of your life.
The only thing we really lose is our date. And like, so what, man? Because really all we have is
It's
24
today.
hours. We've got 24 hours. I mean, there is significance in having multiple 24 hours in a row, right? But I gave up a date, man. I
You know what I'm talking
gave
about.
up 9 years. You know, I gave up 9 years, and I struggled for 5 to get back to the program because of the shame and the guilt that I felt. And I when I get up on this podcast, like, I want people to know that like, we love you.
Yeah.
And come back. Don't wait 5 years. Don't
part.
go through the hell and the misery that I went through. You don't have to do another mission with the CIA. You don't.
That part. Or the FBI.
Or the FBI.
Totally.
I got some friends. I know some people.
Like you
now I'm on the other side. But yeah, right? So it's not
Yeah.
a death sentence. And some people, I believe, they take themselves out. Like, regardless if you're an NA, AA, well,
Yeah.
Variety for the Native American
Sure.
community,
Yeah.
whatever it is, you know, we have this shame that comes back. And I felt it. I'll
Yeah.
tell
I
you
did too.
firsthand. Like, fuck, man, I fucked up. And when am I supposed to go back? I'm supposed to celebrate my dates or tell people, like, there's this, like, huge shame cloud that comes and just, like,
Yeah, it
distorts
sucks to
your
stand
thinking.
up to be like, I am new. Like, you're basically having
A
to
newcomer.
say you're a newcomer.
Yeah, you get
and that
that
sucks.
fucking-
But that's
yeah.
all of our pride and ego of ourselves. So it's like no one cares because everybody in those spots, they're worried about themselves. You know?
Yeah.
So it's like I have to constantly tell myself that all the time where it's like, bro, you're not that serious. Like, you're not that important.
Not that important.
Like-
you know what's important is your life is
Yeah.
important. Your life is more important than any shame or guilt that you're feeling. Because, like, I've been there. And, like, the only reason why I'm still alive is because God had a different plan for my life.
Yeah, amen.
Because the amount of stuff that I put in my body,
Yep.
I shouldn't be here.
Or what about the places that we've put ourselves at?
The places
like
that
the
I've
people
been.
that were around. Like,
I mean,
you know?
my last run, the Orange County sheriffs,
Oh, shit. Speak on it.
they tried to put me down like a dog. You know, they were done. They were fed up. They had enough of Chad Carlson, and they shot me with 2 taser guns
Oh,
at the same
shit.
time.
How
And
was that, by the way? Can I ask?
It was
curious.
It was one of the most
Just in case it
painful
happens. No, I'm
experiences.
kidding. I'm ready.
One
My friend got tased. What's up? Bring it. No.
one is enough. Like,
And they brought you with 2?
yeah.
Oh, man. Deuces. Straight
Yeah.
up Chris Brown.
Yeah.
Deuces. Oh, yeah.
I was on.
How long did it go on? Look at me looking at I want to know. Like,
Yeah.
well, how long was it? Was it deep?
I mean, it's probably a good 30 seconds
Damn.
of pain and misery.
That's even
And
worse
then
than
they
a
had
jumping.
and they had spiked my heart rate, you know, and I hadn't slept in
Yeah.
10 days.
Oh, dang.
I hadn't eaten in a while.
Yeah.
I was weighing about $140,
Snap.
you know,
Crackling pop.
like feeling. I wasn't feeling good though either. I ain't gonna lie. I'm not gonna be like I was feeling. Nah, I was through on that day. It was a bad day. I had put a flux capacitor on my car, if you know what that is.
oh God.
It's from Back to the Future. It's the thing that makes time travel possible.
Okay. Is that what's
Yeah.
happening? Were
So
you
I-
going back to the future?
I was
Chad?
going back to the future
Okay.
In his head.
in
In
my
his
mind.
head?
Yeah.
In the head. Okay.
Yeah, I traveled.
Yeah. So it happened. It went down.
Yeah, it went down. They got me. They had put detectors on their car that wouldn't allow my flux capacitor to work.
Snap.
So
Don't do drugs, kids.
Hear that? There's that part.
Yeah.
We scrub, what is it called? Tiles in the middle of the night
totally.
with with toothbrushes.
Yeah. Out of
You know,
control.
bolt stuff out,
people are out
looking
fucking-
outside and
people are out mowing their
yeah.
lawn with their fucking
Fixing
hair
a car
clipped.
that doesn't run.
Whoa, yeah.
I was actually
Oh
the
my
guy
God,
that
stop.
took his running car apart
Oh, well, there's
yeah.
that.
while I was
There's
on
that,
drugs.
yes.
Man, I used to go out and graffiti like the wall. That's why I say I like the vibe, because I used to.
Oh.
Don't have me call pool. I couldn't put it in my book. They'd probably hold me accountable. But I'd like spray on the walls and do like, you know what I'm saying? I do graffiti and stuff like that. So I would do that and write letters to my homies that were locked up in like a CYA and stuff like that. I loved
Yeah.
it. I'd write some long letters. I don't know what the fuck I said. You know what I'm saying? But I
Sure.
just was like, "What's up, homie?"
Yeah.
Da, 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 da. I wish they could give me one of those letters to see what the fuck I was saying
to
in the
see the
bathroom.
craziness?
Like, what was it? Yeah, the
Yeah.
insaneness.
Like, totally.
like just ripped out of your head onto paper. You know, who knows what I said? Could have been anything.
Which is wild.
Right?
Are your parents still married?
They are, but I think they think they're not. It's one of those situations. They actually live with me. So I live like in a 5-bedroom and like make sure that my parents are taken care of. I think that's important. I have huge family values. I think family values are very important.
Same.
Right. So my daughter is I don't trust anybody. So even if I had a girlfriend, I wouldn't trust them. That's not their responsibility. That's my responsibility. You know what I'm saying? So I have my mom watch my daughter while I travel, because I travel probably 3 times out of the month to different states, speaking, anything to do with addiction, anything with, also we go to DC, lobby, you know, we write bills for the, you know, different stuff that's going on in California and on a national level. So my mom and dad are still married. They were divorced, and that's what all started me getting out here to California, because they were in a really bad divorce out in Tucson. So we came out here and I started living with my aunt. And then, like I said, then when they came, they just worked so much. It's just, I just was fucking bored and got into everything, and nobody paid attention to me. So I was like, oh, y'all ain't gonna pay attention to me. Well, watch me show out. And now that kind of shows out in my ways to make sure that I'm enough, because I felt like a long time I felt like I wasn't enough. You know, and I was like, man, Kristina, you are enough. Like those affirmations, Kristina, you're enough. But I didn't feel it. You know what I mean? It was sad. And then I felt like nobody paid attention to me. So I was like, I'm like a driven person. Like, I've got the drive to do what I want to, right? That's in my personality and my DNA. But then the other part of the achievements, like I cannot just fucking I stand on fucking business. Like, I got a part that, like, let's go fucking have fun, but I stand on fucking business. I got 2 businesses. One is a Rainbow Global Collective, and that's a whole nother thing. And then I also Native American Sacred Circle, which deals and works with all Native American, and I consult for, like, the Sioux tribe, and also out there in the East, Mascaleto tribe out in New Mexico, and just all of, I'm connected everywhere, you know, besides outside of CCAP of what I do, being the Vice President of Education and Strategic Development and Chief Academic Officer.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about that.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about that.
Sure.
'Cause That's how I actually originally met you, was
Yeah.
because of CCAP.
Yeah,
Right? We see each other. We roll up in conferences.
we
and-
do.
Yep.
And I already know when I see the Hopeaholics what time it is. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? We know what time it is.
It's time for the party to
It's
start.
time to
That's
party
right.
and to get real.
That's right.
Let's hear about it. Like, what's up? Yeah. You said the party is start that recovery party.
Yeah, the recovery
We
party.
we
only
popping sodas and water.
We
Yeah,
only
exactly.
pop
Popping sodas
Yeah.
and waters.
Yeah.
And energy drinks y'all
That's
don't want
right.
to see me in, right?
Well, the energy drinks are just part of Natalie's sponsorship. So, as you know, she is
okay.
the face of Rain Energy Drink, the female face of Rain
okay.
Energy, which is a Monster Energy brand.
Okay, look
Yeah.
at you.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, well, that is.
Yeah.
Whoa.
She's basically been the face since that company started, huh?
Well, right
Right,
on.
well, and since they created Rain.
Yeah.
Like one of the.
Is these the ones
products.
over here?
Yeah.
Yeah, the one with the, so there's 2 different ones in there. There's the Rain, and then there's the Rain Storm.
Got you.
But the one with the bigger can, that's the original.
Yeah,
Rain.
it's the OG.
What's the difference?
One's 300 milligrams of caffeine and bigger, and then
The other one.
Hey, that would be good for women on their womanhood. Okay, I'm just saying, give away the you know what I'm saying. That part would be probably good with that caffeine that we need. All the women out there, just saying. That's my plug.
So go to your local 7-Eleven
Yeah,
there
or
you go.
Circle
There you
K
go.
and grab
And
yourself
make it rain.
Yeah, make
Make
it rain.
it rain.
Wait, so going back to his question, like
CCAP.
What was
And
the
what's
question?
I wanted you to tell us more about what you do with CCAP.
Oh my goodness.
well,
Okay.
and you've attended both Yale and Harvard.
yeah,
Hello.
Hello.
yeah.
Like that right there, not many people can say.
Well, I did two things. So one of the things for Harvard, I got my higher education teaching certificate from. So that was the first time through Harvard, and it was through like the COVID times.
you.
So what ended up happening is you couldn't go to campus and get your certificate through that way. So I did it online. So all of our instructors through Harvard, we went through that piece, and then I went back to Harvard last year and graduated their DEI program, and so their diversity, equity, inclusion. And working with people in marginalized communities, and also, you know, working with folks, whether it had to do disabilities, LGBTQ, at the Kennedy School that was out there. And I met really powerful people when I went back out there. But I really enjoyed the campus. I purposely, there were some people when I was there, they're like, go live. So you go to my Instagram and see that because I was like, I need to go there. We paying the money to go there,
sure.
and you get accepted in there.
Yeah,
you better
yeah.
take your ass over there. But in between there, like me being my overachiever, going to Yale, I went to the School of Management, and I went and got my women's leader certificate. So did all the coursework, did the whole thing, and then you come to the campus. Whether you're online, because I have a very busy schedule, like to take 6 months off or a year to go just straight to Harvard, which I did for Harvard for my teaching credential, but not for Yale. Yale had to be online, and then I went you have to go for like kind of like not a residency, but like for like a week and do the women's leadership. So we got to go walk across stage. I got Yale, wow. I got Harvard.
Yeah, that's
I got
sick.
all my stuff, and took a lot of pictures too, because I thought, and even though I might have it on certain things, when people hear that, they're like, what?
Yeah.
You went to Harvard and you went to Yale? I said, yeah, I did. I did. And it was awesome, and you can too.
Totally.
Yeah,
and that's why it's
anyone
important
can
to
do
talk.
that.
Right.
Yeah,
that's why
speak
it's
on it.
important to use the platforms that you have and talk about it, because when you hear those two things, people's ears perk up, because it's rare.
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I think I know 2 people that went to Harvard. I know nobody that went to Yale, except if they're on stage speaking.
Sure.
So coming from that, looking the way that I do as a gender fluid, LGBT person, person in recovery, tattooed to the bone all over the place. And, I think people should get used to, just like LGBT folks, people that have tattoos, normalize it. We're around, we're not going nowhere, and here we are. You know what I'm saying? So stop making people feel shame, or until they find out who I am, be like, oh, shit. The person in the room, oh, we're actually going to be speaking to them, not this other person that's walking through here, So I love that reaction sometimes. It's just, I think that part when you're like, hey, I arrived, right? But then I say, no, I haven't, because I'm not done. I'm not dead. So what is arrival, right?
Right.
That part. So, but yeah, went to both. Really had some really great thought leaders that were out there. Got to I even got asked back too to go and speak. I probably will go back and speak at Harvard. Probably at some time and stuff like, y'all might want to come with me. You know what I'm saying? We'll go down there and be like, yo, Harvard.
Yeah.
Because they ask people to come back, that been through the and graduated the certificates program at Harvard. So
yeah, that's huge.
We'll see what's up. Yeah.
I mean, that's like the beauty of the program, though, because look at how you started this life at such an early age, not the best, and then look at where you are now.
Yeah, and I think one of those things is I never thought, there was things that I wanted to do. Like I wanted to be a trainer. I knew that. I wanted to be a substance abuse counselor, which I am, a licensed advanced alcohol abuse counselor. I want to do my master's. But, there was a lot of things in my head saying, you can't do that. You're not going to do that. You're not good enough to do that. I said, watch me. And that's a lot of times people that I think, like they think that you were never going to be anything because you were a gang member or you did a lot of drugs. That's actually, man, do you know how valuable you are that you lived through whatever took you to the drugs and then did your drugs, and how an advocate you could be and how you can transform not only your life but other people's lives and be on that platform just like we are, all 4 of us today. I don't know everybody's story in the room right here, but there's so much to be like, the job's never done. My passionate, some people need to have purpose, right? So being passionate, you'll find your purpose, because some people don't know what that is and they fall deep into a depression. Like, I don't know, or they have too much, slow down. Like they say, like God says, stay still, stay still. You got to be in your peace, meditate. Speak to whoever speaks to you, or speak, when you're in your meditation mode. One of the things is, study as much as you can and educate. Nobody can take away your education. They can take away your kids. If you're out there listening, they can take away, your drinks, your food, your all that other stuff, but they can never take away what goes in your brain, and you are able to articulate and also download and help other people and try to help yourself, which us as helpers are the worst people trying to help ourselves, just FYI.
Right.
We are the last persons. Did you eat? Did you? No, none of that. Did you sleep? Hell no. I barely got up. Matter of fact, you know what I'm saying? I probably need to go take a nap. So, if you're out there, I think it's important that the self-care is not talked about enough here in the work that we do, whether it's the stuff that you're doing, whether it's people that are listening, because we burn out, we're helping folks and helping people. So it's important taking care of yourself, whether it be your skin, whether it be your body, your physical, and sometimes your spiritual. Where is your spiritual warfare? And also where is your, physical aspect? Are you working out? Are you eating the right foods? I mean, I'm already fired right here. I got like Georgia peach, gold peach. I need a soda here in a minute, okay? Some caffeine. Let's let's do it. But take care of yourselves, because we need everybody. We need all the recovery architect warriors that we have out here, such as the Hopeaholics.
Mind, body, soul.
Yeah, thank you. I wanted to ask, how do we, and I think it's a we job in society today, because we've got a country, especially, and even a world that's extremely divided, right? Purposely divided by our political leaders.
Yeah.
And what I always found, so this is a long-winded question, sorry. What I always
That's it.
found.
Let me get a pencil.
Alcoholics Anonymous, Narcotics Anonymous for me taught me how to live with everybody. Well, the steps taught me how to live with me. The traditions taught me how to live with everybody else. How do we as a community of recovering addicts and people in this industry come together to help bring people unity?
I think one of the things is that to be open. When I go ahead and start on stage and I talk to people from all over the nation, from all different places, I let them know that I'm planting a seed. I'm not over here to change your mind, because as soon as you say pushing your agenda, people woke up.
For sure.
Right? Like, but the thing is, like, I'm here to plant a seed, and I show a seed. So you need to visualize it, because the one thing of education is people learn different. So learning of showing, doing, and all that stuff. So showing them and actually telling them, hey, we're planting seeds, and then we're going to water those seeds. And not only just watering those seeds, we all might not see eye to eye on a whole bunch of stuff, whether it be politics, religion, especially in what got you sober or recovery, and how you stay and you live from day to day. How I live every single day and don't commit suicide is my thing, and how you live every day is going to be different in you, right? And the reason why we don't utilize substances is going to be something. But if we're able to put that out on the table, you know what I'm saying, and come in and do the work, it would be fucking so golden, right? And so when we're looking at, we need to make sure that people have different pathways to recovery, right? So right now, because my PhD program is in metaphysical science, I want to do something that's called metaphysical recovery. You know what I'm saying? So it'll be all purple. It's funny you have the amethyst and stuff like that, but there's pathways, whatever pathway. And for us, people say, it's a non-judgmental bullshit. We know some of y'all judging up in there. Some people don't like some people. You know what I mean? Just keep it real. You got fucking biases.
Yeah.
Just know that shit. The first part is knowing that shit. Okay, we got biases. I don't see eye to eye. Let's get that shit out of the way, right? But the thing is being open, right? Nobody said you had to agree with what the fuck I got going on. But the thing is we have like have these principles that we'll go ahead and follow. So having multiple pathways to recovery is important. And politics and religion, I know religion is in NA, and also the Buddhist, refuge recovery. You also have like smart recovery, but they use God, and some people are like atheists. And, I go like, what speaks to you? Let's speak to you. My beliefs, I could sit here, we do a whole different podcast on God and, all that other stuff. But, what speaks to you? And when you go meditate, they're like, well, I don't even meditate. So that's where we need to start first, right? But I think just a common understanding, and maybe some people don't even fucking understand that part. They just want to come and get clean. Because it's like one of the things is if somebody wants it bad enough, and sometimes they don't even know that they need it. You know what I mean? Of how bad they need to get, their family back, their people back and stuff like that. So I think the peer support is very important. Peer support is important, but going back to your question, I think the first part is keeping the multiple pathways to recovery, just like there's MAT, medical assistant, and then there's even shame with that. Oh, you're still on drugs, or you're still doing this and that. Like, who the fuck am I who am I to say that which you're not supposed to do and what you're not supposed to do? Everybody found their way to where we're at the Hopeaholics, right? We all got here for a common purpose for some reason, right? So I think letting go of the it's going to come to me. I had it right there, and then my squirrel decided to take it and run. But it was mainly to the fact of just letting people be human, like how I first walked in here. Like, can't I just be a human? Can't you just see for the beautiful soul? At least I think I'm beautiful. I can't be handsome a little bit at the same time. I'm like that fluid going on, soul that I am, that I just want to help people. And I want to make sure that, no bed goes unturned. Like, if you need help, like, you know what I'm saying? Reach out to them. You know what I mean? Reach out to your folks. And I think the part of going to a non-judgmental place, I think the person that's doing, whether it's treatment or the peer support or the peer-to-peer thing, is keep an open heart for this person. You might not agree with whatever they got going on, their political views, the way they live, who they have in their bed. Last time I checked, it's nobody's fucking business who I have in my motherfucking bed, okay? Unless you in it. If you in it, then that's a different story. Then we can have a conversation, right? But if you not
Talking
stay,
about me, right?
I am. It was all me and you. Matter of fact, what you got going on at 1 o'clock? Okay. So that's what I'm saying. That would be our business thing. You feel me?
Yeah.
What we had going on.
Right.
Nobody else's fucking business. So I think if we can get past that and we can't stop playing the police to other people.
Totally.
And just let them fucking be human and come through the doors and stop saying, you can't do this, you can't do that. We keep on telling people we're the fucking police. You can't do this, you can't do that. Just let them come in. What are you? Except if you're harming, other clients and doing all the other shit. Ethical shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, good. Lots of good answer. Man, because if we can all connect at the heart level.
That's right.
The one thing that we all have in common, whether we're addicts or not addicts or just people in this world, is we all know what it feels like to hurt inside. Everybody knows what it feels like. Everybody's had pain. There's variations of pain. But if we can connect there and get rid of all of the other stuff, like the politics, the religion, and just connect.
Yeah,
because
that's why I like love thy neighbor. It's in the Bible.
Thank you.
I mean,
Can we say that? Yeah.
Let people be and don't stop with the my way is the only way.
Yeah,
because that's not even real.
Well,
that's
what
not
I'm
true.
Because I feel now that we said we wasn't going to say all this stuff, but I feel God made me the way I am,
Exactly.
and making me the way to preach to other folks, whether it be preaching, whether it be educating, because He put me in that spot to go ahead and educate and be here, and here I am.
Yeah.
And even with the Hopeaholics,
Yeah.
that's part of my journey. Then you know what I'm saying. Wherever I'm going, wherever my calling.
He's given you a voice.
Yep.
And to be honest, a talented voice. Like you're born charismatic. You're born
loving,
educated, loving. You're born to do what you're doing.
I was born this way, Lady Gaga.
Yeah.
Now the gay comes out. Where's all my gays at? No, I'm kidding. Shout out to the transgender community now.
I don't know why.
It's gone.
I don't know.
It's okay.
I don't know
okay.
why Shane's not dancing when you said where are all my gays at.
Where my gays at? Whoop, there it is. Whoop, there it is.
There it is. Come on. Whoop, there it is.
Happy Pride Month, y'all, too. Shoot.
Is it Pride Month?
It is Pride Month.
We don't know.
Yeah, it's Pride Month. Through
Yeah.
June. Usually it goes through June, July, August, depending. Because what happened was
June,
California
July,
fucked it up.
August.
June,
July, August.
So you know me, you're getting 2 or 3 weeks.
Wow.
You already know the 1 to 3. See, and if you don't know, now you know. Okay, but what happened is that California went ahead and had, like in San Francisco, it was Pride, but guess what? Everybody had their Pride at the same flipping time, right? So then they knocked it out to go a little bit. So and so has Pride in July and August and drag shows and different stuff. So that's what happened. But really,
I'm
it's
fine
June.
with whatever.
Are you fine? Are we policing? Are we policing?
It doesn't matter to me. Like I don't care. Like I have a good time wherever I go.
That's what's up. That's what we do. Yeah.
Well, damn, this was a good podcast. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, you're the bomb.
Oh, thank you.
And
Y'all
you kept Shane's attention for
I'm shocked.
about 50,
Yeah?
Normally he's out.
He's just like
No,
Are
like
you out
out.
in space?
Yeah.
Are you out in space a little bit sometimes?
No.
Shane.
Where's the love lines
I'm
thing?
not.
Sometimes.
No, come on.
We need your voice though.
Yeah, I know.
It's that sexy voice.
Huh.
Like, hey,
I
I
don't
don't
follow.
swing that way, but hey, check it out. I like that voice. Hey. Well, y'all definitely awesome.
Shane's always down to try to turn somebody.
Is that what's
Oh,
up?
yeah.
I bet he could with that bald head. I bet you when my friends see this, because I'm gonna blast it out after the podcast goes out. You gonna have some people in your DM. He's gonna get some
Happily
stuff in his
married.
DM, and
Happily married, but thank you.
and that's what the other person said too. Just saying.
Happily fucking
Hey,
married.
that ring. Let me tell you, with some women, the rings don't
Oh, I
mean
know.
nothing. I'm
They
just
don't.
saying.
If anything, it
Man.
attracts a lot.
Don't
more.
really,
does!
Don't really care what they think. None of my business.
That part.
What's happening?
when the lights
He's
go out.
fucking full of shit.
I'm just saying.
Don't act like your wife's gonna watch the end of this goddamn podcast,
I'm just
bro.
saying.
Are
Don't
we
really
holding
care.
some shit back
Yeah,
here?
it
You said
ain't-
your wife.
Trying to hold it together.
It ain't going that far. Our moms might be watching it.
Oh,
But
yeah.
not yours.
No.
Oh,
Your mom
snap.
stopped watching our podcast.
I just don't send it to her anymore.
Is
You
that what
don't?
happened?
It's, I guess, just mine and your
Yeah.
mom will be watching it.
Is that
to
what's
the end.
going on? Oh, well, hey, there's that.
Mm-hmm.
And whoever else, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
We gonna
I
boost it out.
don't think my wife watches more than like 5 minutes.
Aw.
It's fine.
okay.
Was your wife? Did I meet your wife at the car? It was
You'll
your
be
daughter.
here tonight.
Oh yeah, you'll meet her tonight.
Yeah, well, I'll be here for like I think 2 hours, and then I'm gonna cut out. I wanted to make sure because
Yeah.
I had forgotten about the luau part, and then I was like, and then Devin,
yeah, you got it.
Devin was like, "You better bring your." He's the one. You better bring your shirt. And I'm like, "Oh damn," because I just got him this really cool shirt from what was it, Ben
Maui.
Sherman, and it was pretty awesome. Last time we were out in DC lobbying, he was actually the president of our
awesome.
CCAP stuff. So we're out there lobbying, meeting with politicians and
Look
stuff
at
like
you
that. Oh yeah.
doing it.
Oh, I
Doing
do.
it.
I do. I go in
Girl,
there.
you're
That's-
doing it.
What are the politicians?
Yes.
What are the politicians? How do they respond to this? Is, I mean, I know we're wrapping it up, but this is
yeah,
an
yeah.
important question to
It
me.
is. Come on,
How
what
do
is
they?
it?
Because like I don't like politicians.
No?
I'm not really a fan. No,
No?
I'm
Okay.
not. But how do they respond to you?
You know, it's funny.
And I want to ask: is this a
She should
two-part
lead like
question?
this.
No, this is a two-part
She should
question.
go. I've been to Yale and Harvard.
This is a
I'm
two-part-
open for it
this
all.
is a
I'm here for
two-part
it.
question because I'm gonna ask: how do they respond on the left, and how do they respond on the right?
Oh yeah, so you're talking about Republican.
Oh,
and
yeah.
also the
Oh,
Democrat.
yeah.
So depending on what bills we're talking about and how it's been affected in regards to like any of the Senate bills that in a California level, we're looking at a national level, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of our bills are through if there's California, so we go to some of our California reps. However, I'm also the vice president on our national one too. I forgot to mention that too. NBHAP, which is National Providers. So if you're a provider, we also do trainings and speak all over the place as well too. However. As far as reacting, it's funny because somebody, which will remain nameless, is like, I just want you to go to this office just to show up. And I'm like, what am I, like a zoo animal
Yeah.
to show up
Totally.
because of who I am, you know?
Right.
But I said, I'm down for it.
Yeah,
I'm born for this. I'm
Shit,
ready.
I'll be a zoo animal.
I'll be a zoo animal.
Yeah.
Grr,
Yeah.
Okay, whatever that was, right? And we'll do the that's a little. So one of the things is I walk in there and, usually I'm suited and booted. I usually have like a tie.
Yeah.
Y'all see me when I'm in my little tropical era or, I'm like, it's hot as hell at where we were at. So I'm usually kind of like, but anyways, I'm all suited and booted. Got my tie, got my situation on or whatever, walk up in there. Even walking around just the House of Representatives of, the one side of DC, I get stared at, especially if I'm wearing a short cutoff sleeve. But I feel, just like the LGBT, I feel like for our folks that have tattoos, I'm leading the way like, hey, we're human, we're educated, and we're coming for you, but not that way.
Yeah.
But I think, I get a lot of stares, but I don't know if it's because it's my cool hair. Could be my eyebrows, but yeah, I know sometimes they look at my tattoo until I open my mouth. And then I'm standing on business like, hey, we're going to talk about this stuff. This is what's affecting. This is what we want to. The peer support is very important in this area. Counselors really need to go ahead. We need a workforce. Also, we need to develop what's it called, a career line so people can get paid and this, that, the other. And we're also looking at bad actors, people that are, we want to introduce this bill that people are just like basically opening up sober livings and the men are having sex with the women for money and whatever. So we need your support. And how can we support you? It's not what we can just do, what you can do for us. We go in there with the ask of what we can partner with or how can we help you, help us, help our providers and help our people in California throughout the nation.
Yeah.
So once after I speak, I think all the other shit's out the window.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's like your tattoos or whatever you
Matter.
said and how you articulate what you're trying. Because I'm telling you, I come and stand in our business. It ain't even funny anymore. Like we're talking about people's lives.
Well, that's why it's important from what you just said earlier on in the podcast about no one can take away your education. So if you have the opportunity to go speak in front of powerful people that can actually make a yes or no decision about something that is very important to you, be educated and know what you're talking about so that you can then be taken seriously. And then also you're then now a representative for whatever it is that you are trying to speak on in a positive light and not a negative one.
Also, yeah, with lived experience
Right.
too.
With lived experience,
Lived
it's very
experience.
important. It's
Yes.
extremely important because most of the people up there making these
No clue.
these decisions do
Boom.
not have any lived experience, and that's
Preach.
actually been
Right.
one of my biggest frustrations with the state of California when they make decisions on policies and procedures
Thank
and
you.
laws for substance use disorder treatment centers. They're not asking me, who's been in this business for 25 years,
Thank you.
who have trudged this road, and how am I even still in business? Because when I started, it was cash pay only.
Yeah.
It was not.
Back in the day.
Yeah, because
There
they
was
don't
no
care.
insurance.
Yeah.
Now it's one of the most difficult landscapes to navigate, especially, I mean, there's other states that are harder, but California is hard.
Oh, yeah,
The
we're like our own
insurance
country.
companies are very hard.
The payers, yeah.
The payers are ridiculously hard.
Yeah.
It's hard to make a living here in this industry. And so my thing is like, this becomes a real a bipartisan issue, and to be able to get up there and speak to all of them, I commend you for that.
Oh, thank you.
I would love to do it. We want to do it
Y'all should come
someday
next time.
as well.
Yeah.
Oh man,
Down.
you know, like
I'm not kidding. It's down.
I literally want to
Get your
bring
little suit on,
Natalie
get your-
Eva Marie,
Then y'all gonna come with us next time.
WWE
Y'all come in.
superstar.
That's right. Wait.
You know, like
Hashtag pink.
hashtag
Then
pink
in
with
the
her
building.
pink hair.
That's right. Wait, I might have to do like a little
Yeah,
pink
little
right here
swish, yep.
because we're besties now. Put a
Yeah.
little pink sliver.
I mean, Shane will throw some pink in his beard. He agreed.
Oh,
I
there
think
we
he lost
go.
a bet. A bet.
Oh,
You're
I need to see
supposed
that tonight. Where
you're
you at? I'm
supposed
going to
dye
Walgreens.
your beard.
You gotta white it first and then dye it. It doesn't dye black. I tried.
Or you
I
could
know,
go
yeah, you
yellow
gotta
a little
bleach
bit.
it. You
Yeah,
gotta
you
white
go-
it.
Oh, yeah,
you
you
got
gotta
just a
bleach
little
it.
bit.
White.
Yeah.
It was just a job.
It is
Turned
a
into a
job.
job. You know.
So yeah, you know, anytime, because like it's for me, it's like
Your program,
they need to know, man. Both
Definitely hear
sides
from
need
you.
to know.
Yeah, it's a part. I can't even speak right now.
Bipartisan.
Part, and I think that they can agree. And I'm not speaking for them, but what I've heard at the Capitol when we're at the Hill, especially like with the overdose, you know,
Yeah,
and fentanyl and stuff like that, and getting that piece and the money. You know, there's a part that's like yes, and then there's other part that has been cut a lot of the programming.
Sure.
So there's a lot of uproar with like different stuff of where money's being brought into like for addiction. So there's
I
that.
mean, with you know who they need to
Who do they need?
lay down the law to?
Who?
Insurance companies.
Yeah.
So there's that part too, right?
It's
Like-
a lot.
Pay us on time.
Yeah.
Pay us, and pay us what it's actually valued at. Stop with paying this insurance policy, paying this, because you want to know how all the fucking crap is going on in this industry, because all of a sudden somebody will find that this policy pays insanely well, and then they'll
Yeah.
just go in and just fucking rape it.
Well, no, it's true. And one of the things in looking at like what is going to be the difference, because we have people that are on Medicare or Cal, and then we have folks that do private pay or it's insurances,
Private
right?
insurance, yeah.
Private insurance, right? So there's a mixture of different folks that are out there, and as far as the monies, but as far as getting that piece in with the insurance, you know what I mean? It's like, wow, you know, make sure that you're paying people on time, because we've heard a lot of the folks, you're not getting some for like 6 months to a year.
Millions of dollars sitting in AR.
Yes.
that's old.
Yeah. So, I mean, that part
that
of,
I already treated the patient, you know, 6 to 12 months ago, and it's just sitting there in space.
So what would you like? Let me ask. I know this isn't. I'm not flipping the script, and I'm not the podcast person. What would you like to see, Chad? And if you could wave a magic wand, what would that look like for you? If you could be speaking to the insurance folks, what would you need?
If I could speak to the insurance folks, I would. I think there needs to be almost a universal payment platform.
Okay.
You know, where it's a dollar amount, especially because Medicaid, Medicare, I couldn't even run.
Yeah. And some people are actually running on that piece right there. You know what I mean?
And it's tough.
And people are even billing for like, you know, people that are doing like wolf therapy or other therapies and different therapies for the most part. So, you know, what really holds the bar of who's doing what therapy and what is it called? Like the data. We need to collect more data on what that looks like. But
Yeah,
keep
and
going.
the other part too is if you start to really do analytics and run analytics, if you're doing well and your treatment centers are doing well, there should be tiers to how you get paid too, because this way you can start to reduce recidivism, right? So if you're a treatment center that's having great success, you should be getting paid a little bit more than people that have constant recidivism. Let's get rid of a lot of these bad players that are only doing it for the money and for the wrong reason.
You know what you're getting sometimes, if I may, is you're getting some folks, and not to down anybody that has this out there that's listening to this, but I am that person that pulls things out. So I've seen what I've seen in California, and this has happened probably about 5 years ago. I've seen more people, is there's people that had a lot of money, right? Their kid just came out of rehab, and they go and open up a rehab,
yeah.
right? And then it's like, they don't know how to run it. They don't have this, that, the other. And it made anybody that had it, like you said, 25 years or 26 years of stuff, like they don't know what they're doing. So it's like, make sure if you're hearing this podcast that you actually hire a consultant to help you through that, because we want you to be successful. We don't want you to be one of the bad actors that don't know what they're doing, and then you're having to stop being
hire the wrong consultant.
And hire the wrong.
The wrong consultant.
Yeah.
I know a couple of good ones.
Yeah.
I actually use one. Devin. What's
Devin.
Devin's company's name?
Devin is wonderful. His company, my goodness, he's gonna kill me. I'm trying to think of.
I know he's gonna kill me because
I am
I
so-
actually
Yeah,
he's
he's
gonna
on my
kill you guys.
payroll.
Hold on, I know.
I'm like, oh my God.
Okay, hold on one
Like,
second.
let me go to his Instagram.
I know. Thank you. Wait, no, I think Natalie's gonna beat me on that real quick. We gotta plug Devin
he's
because he
on-
is the
yeah.
bomb.
Yeah, Devin is the bomb.
He
Devin
is the
is
man.
the bomb.com,
He is so
and then
sweet.
I'm gonna also promote Infinity Group Consulting, which is
Yeah.
my team of Catherine and Peter,
Yeah.
along with
Circa Behavioral.
Circa.
Circle. Yes.
Circa.
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 Shout
Shout
out
out
to
to
Devin.
Circa.
Shout out to Devin. That's my peeps. Woo, woo.
Because even our consulting group and the Infinity Group as a whole uses Circa.
Yeah. No, he's the business.
He knows his shit.
team.
And it's a lot harder than what people think.
This is not an easy landscape.
It's not.
It's not. Don't just think you're going to get in, and don't just think that payers are going to pay you $3,000 to $5,000 a day. Those policies are few and far between, and the people that are dealing with those policies, I'm going to say this because it's true. A lot of these people that are dealing with those policies are dealing with body brokers.
Ooh.
Body brokering is
Have you seen
fucking
that movie?
illegal. Yes, I've seen.
I
it.
haven't seen it yet.
haven't.
Can you
I
believe it?
lived that world.
I haven't seen
I lived during that era. I was doing this during that era.
How disturbing, though, right?
It's
Like
very
people
disturbing.
are going to like recovery areas or like.
People used to plant people here at Hope by the Sea.
That's terrible. Yeah.
We'll pay you $2,000 to go to this other treatment center for 30 days, and you get to relapse in between.
Damn. Yeah.
Not cool.
That's
Not okay.
devastating.
We're
And
talking
then, and they
about
don't make
life.
it back. You know
No.
what I mean?
A relapse today is possibly death.
Somebody's
sure.
daughter, son, non-binary person.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, it's terrible. That's sad. That makes me sad. But yeah, there's that movie I still need to watch. Looks
Me
like
too.
you watched it already.
I did.
So we're gonna have to do our homework.
It's very
I know.
it's very accurate, except for the dollar amounts is skewed.
Say a little bit more about that.
It's like they made it seem like we were making way more money than we actually
Got it.
were.
Yeah.
I can drug testing.
Oh, and then that was on the market for a minute, right? People were
yeah.
overcharging.
They
so
were-
there's some
they-
fraud going on.
They're saying that people were getting $3,000 a drug
to go
test,
pee.
which it wasn't. That's not true. On average, it was $350.
Somebody was charging $5,000 and it flagged. And so we get all the we get some complaints and stuff too. You know what I'm saying? We're the certifying body,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
From the state. And
Yeah.
so looking at like DHCS and people giving complaints and some like where's your ethical piece of that? And there's the fraud aspect too. They could put you out of business. You know what I'm saying? But there was a lot of that going on. It was probably like 3 years ago, right? 3, 4.
I
or is it
mean,
still-
if you
is it
really
still
wanna
happening?
go back,
let's
it
go
was-
back. Way back. How far are we going back?
2013 to 2017.
Okay.
Is that correct,
That's a
Shane?
nice little run.
I was never involved with that.
This is the first time. So this is
No
the first
clue about the pee.
You didn't
I
have
never
no-
made a dollar.
Oh, I
off it.
did.
Yeah, I never.
Okay,
I had
have
no
you ever
clue.
been to a drug test like where they hold the pee, like where where they do the testing? I don't really acknowledge to have anyone go there because it's deep. I didn't.
Where
even
they
think-
hold the pee?
Where
No.
they hold a pee. I went in there and looked through it because I needed to see.
Wait,
what
they
was
literally
going-
hold and make you pee in it? I mean, like,
No, not us pee, but like somebody else's pee gets stuck there for them to go ahead and they process it.
Like,
the pee.
like the pee that happens downstairs in this
exactly,
facility.
and you ship
and
it out.
I ship it out.
Yeah, did you ever go? Have
I've
you ever
never been there, and
Okay,
I
so
don't
I just
want
want
to go there.
So I just want to say we went and did like a
gotta
quick
stink.
and it was like a full fair. Yeah, real quick though.
No.
Hear me out real quick. So it went down, and I'm looking around, and they're like, "We're gonna show you this one part, but it might be a little stinky." So I went in there, and I was like, "I don't even know if," and I don't know why I said a dude, but if that person's still alive because it looked like the back of the.
Stop.
Yes, it looked like
No.
this table. That's where their pee was at. I'm like, I don't even know if that person's still alive. So what's up? What are we doing here? Okay, please continue.
That's it. I'm done. I'm done. This was a
we're
great.
done. We're
this
done
was
on-
a
we're-
great.
we're
this was
ending
a-
on the
Thank you.
pee.
We're
Yeah.
ending on the
We
pee.
love you.
Thank you,
Great
Hopeaholics.
podcast.
Yes,
Much
thank you so
love.
much.
Woo woo. Love everybody. That's what's up.